要なのは誰よ。はあどうしたの。
共鳴の力を見る。
レディーアクションします。あなたに天井のし
共鳴の力を
修理が必要なのは誰よ。頼んだわよ。どうしたの。レディーアクションミュージックスタート。どうぞ。あなたに天井のし
共鳴の力を見せる。
修理が必要なのは誰よ。レディーアクション。どうしたの。修理が必要なのは誰よ。あなたに天井の祝福を。
共鳴の力を見せる。
レディーアクション。修理が必要なのは誰よ。はあどうしたの。あなたに天井の祝福を。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。チャッ
レディーアクションミュージックスタート。どうぞ。修理が必要なのは誰よ。レディーアクション。どうしたの。あなたに天井の祝福を。どうしたの。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。チャッ
修理が必要なのはレディーアクション。あなたに天井の祝福を。
共鳴の力を見せる。
修理が必要なのは誰よ。
共鳴の力を
レディーアクション。あなたに天井の祝福を。どうしたの。修理が必要なのは誰よ。頼んだわよ。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。
レディーアクションミュージックスタート。どうぞ。あなたに天井の祝福を。
共鳴の力を
どうしたの。修理が必要なのは誰よ。はあなたに天井の祝福を。レディーアクション。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。
どうしたの。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。
修理が必要なのは誰よ。頼んだわよ。あなたに天井の祝福を。レディーアクション。どうしたの。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。
修理が必要なのは誰よ。頼んだわよ。レディーアクション。あなたに天井の祝福を。 うしたの？ひゃ
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。
どうしたの？ひゃ修理が必要なのは誰よ？頼んだわよ。レディーアクション。あなたに天上の祝福を。
共鳴の力を見せる時だ。
どうしたの？修理が必要なのは誰よ？はあレディーアクション。修理が必要なのは誰よ？
What's going on, dudes? Welcome back to another Elune video today. And today, guys, we are going to be going over some of the units that you guys can be bringing for your Imae level 10 runs for your boss battles. So there's a lot of different options you guys can run, but basically here's what you guys want to have set up. You want to have a possible restrainer, a possible CC'er, so 1 to 2 CC'ers. You can do anything between stun, restraining, and paralysis. And you want to have 1 magic damage dealer, and you want to have 1 physical damage dealer. Now, there's ways you can get around that once you get into the high-end level comps. So this guide is going to be a lot for beginning, starting players, maybe players have been playing one for 1 to 2 weeks. A lot of people, obviously, if you've been playing the game since launch, you probably can already do Imae pretty easily. So this may not pertain to you, but Weiwei is obviously also going to be very, very important because Imae does hit you off the bat right in the beginning of the fight. So having Weiwei to recover is a very good option. And plus, having a healer also in your front line can also help you to recover back your health. Once you get Weiwei's barrier up, then you should be very well protected throughout the rest of the fight. But you want to have a CC'er that can lock down both copies of Imae because he will affect you with a bewitching kind of ability, which is going to force your one of your heroes to attack the rest of your team. So especially if your hero has like an AoE attack or any kind of CC, that could be very, very troublesome. So you want to have them on lockdown when you get to phase 3 as much as you can. So let's go over the potential units you guys can run. So first of all, let's go over our healer. Freya is an awesome healer. She's got an S1, very powerful heal. Plus, on top of that, when she gets her buff coming up very soon, she's going to have even more built-in protection on her passives, more healing. Her S2 eventually is going to get a heal AoE along with barrier. So obviously, it's going to be super, super awesome. And what you can do to kind of cheese this a little bit is normally Chloe, who is obviously a staple in almost all your boss runs, actually pretty much all your boss runs, even ones you can't CC because of just her damage output's insanely high. You can actually attack with your Chloe's S3 on the left copy of Imae, even when you don't want to take damage, and have her survive with the ability of Eternal Blessings, because that does give you damage immunity for 1 turn. And even though it's only 1 turn, if you use your Freya ability first, and then you go into your Chloe S3, then you're going to deal that massive amount of damage you guys see there at 3% damage or whatever it is, plus the 1630, and more, and increase damage by 20% for every soul used. So if you get all 8 souls, it's additional 100% on all those damage multipliers, and you're going to hit insanely, insanely hard, and she's not going to take any damage because she's going to have that protection from your Freya. So, but generally on my Freya, I generally just stick to her S1, and I try to use up all my souls, in the early parts at least, for my Weiwei, for my Chloe, and for my Kai, who I use as my physical DPSer. So that's primarily who I focus in on for my units there. But then once you get to the 3rd phase and you really want to burst down the boss and it's coming close, and if you happen to kill the right side before you are able to do enough damage to the left side, because with my comp especially, I have way more magic damage dealers than physical damage dealers, so I do create that problem. But if I can get 1 quick, hit in with Chloe, then, it's pretty much a done deal. So Freya does help you alleviate having to take damage from that, because Chloe will auto-die if she uses her S3, and I think even possibly her S2, very, very close to it. You need to have a little bit of protection, at least Weiwei's buff. Maybe even enough would be from Freya's S2 to protect you from an S2 hit from your Chloe, because then you can paralyze both bosses and then get that auto-critical on your other physical damage DPSer on the left side of Imae. So very, very important unit. Weiwei, we don't really have to talk about Weiwei. She's going to be in every boss comp you guys play for everything. Bubble Tea Shower gives you protection, gives you auto-regen healing when hit, and then obviously Sweet Temptation is the enhanced buff that can relapse from when you use your S2 and S3 skills on your DPS heroes or debuffer heroes. So very, very important there. The next hero we're going to go into, obviously, is going to be our Rina. Rina is awesome for this fight simply because of her weakening restrain effect. Only costs 2 mana for one, or 2 souls for one. It has 2 abilities on it. One is it reduces attack speed by 40% for 3 turns, and that's a guarantee. That's 100% effectiveness, so unless they resist, you're going to hit that. And then has this 75% chance of inflicting a restrain for 3 turns when you max skill this. So keep in mind, I believe it is only like a 50% chance with a 2-turn on the restraint. So it is kind of important for Clockwork to be max skilled. So I don't really ever use her S3 for this fight, simply because I have Chloe. But Rina is super useful because of her ability, because by using her S2, most of the time you are going to get some of that souls back with your Weiwei's passive. So on top of that, plus if you're running any of the corrupt gears on any of your support heroes, it's going to be insanely good as well. So I think Rina is still a very solid choice for this run, simply because of how efficient her souls are and how good of her ability is. The fact that you can use it on the left copy without dealing damage means she's not going to have to take damage from the reflect on the left copy of Imae, since you're going to have a majority of magic damage users. So that's very, very good. Now, you can't use Caroline for this fight because, or I wouldn't recommend it because of the fact that Chloe is going to be your main magic DPSer, and you don't really need to have a second one. You only need to have one. Then the next hero that I particularly use, my final hero, is going to be my Kai. He's just base. I have both of his abilities maxed out simply because he's my only physical damage DPS epic hero I still have. I don't have an Eris. Who was the other? I think, is Michelle physical damage DPS? I can't remember if she is. She is. Okay, so Michelle's another option you guys could run as well. But she also does a bleeding effect as well. So I don't know if that's going to be better in the long run. But she does, and her attacks are AoE. So I wouldn't recommend Michelle, but simply because her one attack is a bleed effect. And you don't want to be causing more effects than you have to, because you want to be landing that restraint and paralysis. So I wouldn't recommend Michelle either. But Eris is definitely another solid option you guys can run if you don't have Kai. So let me go into our index, and let's go over some other potential heroes that you guys can be using for this fight. So let's go into our epic heroes, and let's go into, so the next one that you guys could potentially run is going to be obviously Eris. We've talked about her before. She's just awesome. She has her ultimate, does a lot of damage for a single target, and then her special gives her an attack boost of 20%, and then she gets 3 turns in a row on her S1. So she may be one of the few heroes you guys may actually want to level up, possibly all of her skills eventually. If you guys have the epic books, if you don't have a lot of other epic books allocated. I know with World Boss, we have to be even now more careful of even our epic book usage, because we need so many different heroes for World Boss, and certain of your epic heroes you are going to have to skill up as well. So you may not want to go full in on her unless you just have an absolute obscene amount of epic books still. But she could be possibly one of the few heroes where you want to max out all 3 abilities, because her S1 is still relevant with her special skill 2. So keep that in mind for that. The next hero we're going to go over is definitely Gao. Gao can be very useful in this fight too, although he's not absolutely necessary in this fight. His amulet ability that does grant an amulet is going to create, let's see here if we can actually go into amulets. No, it won't tell us, will it? Unless we can see it in our passive, maybe? Okay, here it goes right here. So right there you go. Resist rate of all status effects is reduced by 10% for all status effects, or sorry, for targets holding an amulet obtain at 2 stars. So yeah, there you go. So his passive one, that's what the amulet does. So he's useful for this, although I don't think he's absolutely necessary, because I think you have enough time between your Rina and your Chloe to land those debuffs and to be in an okay situation. But if you do want to use him, you guys can. So his normal skill is a magic skill. So unfortunately, you would have to. You can still use it on the left side because his skill 1, he's going to be he's not going to be a super high DPS unit. He's not going to take a lot of damage from attacking the left side of Imae, because more than likely that's the side you're probably going to need resistance on, because that's the side you're getting some debuffs on in the early part of the game, whether you're using Chloe or Rina to burst him down into phase 3. So it will help to get 10% lowering of resistance with the amulet. So he's a possibility option as well. Mika, I would try to stay away from, just because she's always going to take damage, because you're primarily going to be using her S1, maybe her S3, but you're definitely not going to want to keep trying to use her S2 to apply more debuffs to land just bleed effects on her S2, when that's going to lower the tolerance, or I'm sorry, raise the tolerance of the boss. So you do want to try to focus more on Gaio if you are going to use a resistance debuffer type of effect. So, but he is an option you could bring if you really want to, if you don't have a lot of other options. So there's him. And then as well as another CC'er you can use, of course, you can use Kumar. Kumar has a stun on his ultimate. So, and I believe that is single target, so you can use this as well. And it is physical damage, so you actually could use this a very solid option over Rina as well for his ultimate on the left side of Imae. But keep in mind, Rina, more cost effective on souls, things like that. She does 2 debuffs by lowering the attack speed and doing the restrain, which is basically going to be doing the same kind of premise as Kumar will as well. So there is kind of cool with this as well, is that you have a 10% chance to reduce the target's physical defense for 2 turns with the skill gem set. So 10% is decent for a skill gem set, so that is relevant as well to help you speed up your runs a little bit. So he's still a solid option. Like, definitely him, Rina are definitely top contenders for that, for sure. And then you do have your bleed effect as well, right here. So he does have bleeding, but once again, I wouldn't focus on bleeding for this fight. I think focus more on the restraints is going to help you overall more for the resistance. So I wouldn't lean too much on Kumar. Only a 5% to restrain the target only for 1 turn. So his skill gem set is not very great. If it was 10%, I'd say maybe it's worth it. But at only 5% and only for 1 turn is super, super low. I would not recommend using his S2 for this fight. And then once again, we have another seal for 1 turn, but once again, only 5%. So, and there's no other extra bonus effects as far as his S1 goes. So, but still solid first choice for his S3. If you guys haven't, you guys on the books to enhance Rina for whatever reason, he is a solid option as well. So that's pretty much, though, gonna do it, I believe. Or actually, what about, let me check out this guy. I haven't really done too much looking into Kong, but I believe he is a physical damage, it looks like. Yes, so he is a physical damage unit. So he has a weakening effect that increases damage received by 110 for and then 0.01 for 3 turns. That's that base, obviously. And then his ultimate as well, guys, is going to also deal physical damage and increase the amount of damage by 10% for each weakening effect. So he will be useful if you're going to do a lot of weakening effects, for instance, on the left side. But like I said before, I just feel going with like an Eris or a Kai or something like that is going to be a better result. Unfortunately, Balder is the only legend physical damage dealing unit. That or Aslan. If you guys want to use Aslan or Balder, they are options. Although I feel Balder's true strength is in AoE S2. So I feel his strength is still more often going to be in PvP and in Adventure and Dimension Gate. I don't think Balder's a terribly great killer, but we'll have to see how his kit changes when he gets his new balancing in a couple weeks to see if he is going to be worth investing into his S3. Right now, I've only invested into his S2, so we'll have to see how he balances out. But Balder is still, he's still an okay option to bring. And then Aslan is an okay option as well for your single target DPS. If you don't have a Kai and you go with an Eris, Hong is also a decent option if you're going to keep those debuffs. And that's why I say Rina is probably better to use than Kumar, especially if you want to use Hong, because Rina is going to land the attack speed debuff, and she's going to land a potential confuse, and she's going to land the restraint. So that's a possibility of 3 debuffs you could have on the left side of Imae, which means it's going to get 10% more damage for each of those. So that could be a potential 30% more damage that you're dealing with your physical DPS targets. So there you go. That's pretty much all I want to cover, all the select options you guys have. So if you guys enjoyed the run of me showing you guys how to be Imae, you guys definitely let me know in the comment section down below. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy today's video. Also hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, so you guys can be updated for more Elune content. And if you guys have other unit picks that I did not go over, please, please, please drop those in the comment section down below, and I will absolutely pin your comments and give you guys a shout out in the comment section down below if you guys have some other awesome sleeper options that a lot of players can use, because I want to try to make these as well diverse as I can for as many options as you guys can for the particular boss that we're taking on. And, you know, I myself don't have all the 6-star epic heroes, or I have all the legends, but not all the 6-star epic heroes. So I know the feel of not having Fabian. I just recently got a Panda, so I know everyone's situation is different if you don't have certain DPS, debuffers, healers, all that jazz. So I want to try to give you guys as much input as possible. But thank you guys so much for checking out the video today. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you guys check out me for the next one, and stay tuned for more Elune content, and I will see you guys in the next Elune